So every year you see these supposedly brilliant CEOs just spending, billions of dollars buying up other companies. And the data shows that, well, most of the time they actually destroy value.
Yeah, it's wild. Like they completely tank it.
Right. So welcome to today's deep dive. We are basically uncovering the Goldilocks zone of corporate strategy, trying to figure out why some expansions create these massive empires while others just completely crash and burn.
Well, it really starts by recognizing the difference between dominating a single market, right, which is your business unit strategy, and creating value across multiple industries. And that's, your corporate
Okay,
strategy.
so business unit is just doing one thing really well.
Exactly. And corporate is playing the bigger board.
Hmm.
But when you look at the profitability of companies that are actually trying to diversify, you see this very clear inverted U-shaped curve.
Okay, let's unpack this because if you're a vertically specialized company, right, like
Yeah.
say all you do is ship crude oil.
Right. Highly specialized.
Yeah, you're at the bottom left of that U curve. Your performance lags. But then if you jump to the complete opposite extreme and become this totally unrelated, diversified firm, like just blindly buying random businesses, you hit the bottom right.
Which, also performs terribly.
Right, you perform worse. So the peak of that profitability curve is right in the middle. Moderate related diversification.
Yeah, I mean, the extremes completely destroy value, but the middle creates it. And to make that middle work, you have to achieve resource leverage.
Okay, so it's kind of like building a plate at a buffet. A few complementary dishes are great, but if you just mindlessly mix ice cream, steak, and cereal on the exact same plate, you just ruin the whole meal.
That is a perfect analogy. You can't just mix random things. If you have, say, a delivery fleet for a successful bakery and you buy a butcher shop next door, you can use those exact same trucks to deliver meat on your existing routes.
Right, you're not just buying a random business, you're buying a way to maximize the infrastructure you already own.
Exactly. You are forcing those existing assets to, do double duty. And in corporate terms, that is synergy. But getting there requires incredible discipline.
Which is pretty hard to find.
Oh, very. Which brings us to the tools for success. These are often called the 8 S's. Now, the most crucial ones are creating synergy, where the whole is greater than the parts, right? And shared knowledge across teams.
And sometimes stopping competitors from entering your turf, right?
Yes, exactly. Using diversification defensively. But, those have an evil twin, the value
Or
destroyers.
destroyers,
Yeah.
hubris, the sunk cost fallacy, and imitation. But wait, I actually have to push back on that last one. Imitation.
Oh, really? Why is that?
I mean, are highly paid executives really risking billions of dollars on acquisitions out of pure FOMO? Like just because a rival bought something first?
I know it sounds absurd, but it honestly happens constantly. Think about it. If you're a manager feeling the heat because your competitor just swallowed up this hot new startup, your ego is going to scream at you to make a countermove.
Just to look like you're doing something.
Right. You just jump in without considering if the target actually fits your delivery fleet, to use your bakery analogy. You don't even know if you have the resources to integrate them.
So it's basically panic grabbing the steering wheel.
Yes, that's exactly what it is.
Yeah.
And see how real strategy actually beats panic? You just have to look at Ecolab's acquisition of Nalco.
Oh, the financial proof there is wild.
It really is.
Yeah.
After the acquisition, Ecolab's stock price virtually doubled. I mean, it jumped from roughly $50 in 2011 to well over $100 by the end of 2014. What's fascinating here is why it worked.
Because they didn't just buy a new revenue stream, right? They found a target with massive cultural alignment.
Exactly, specifically around sustainability.
Right.
And then they applied the right integration strategy.
Right, because when you acquire a company, you generally have 4 options. You can bury, build, blend, or bolt on. And Ecolab definitely didn't bury Nalco by just stripping its assets to the bone.
No, they chose to blend. They carefully intertwined their shared sustainability cultures. So they kept Nalco's deep water treatment expertise intact. But then they pushed those services through Ecolab's massive global sales channels.
Which is the actual how of synergy.
Yes. And Cisco is another textbook winner here. They don't just buy companies to inflate their revenue.
You use a bolt-on strategy, right, to stay ahead of fast-moving tech trends, things like VoIP and wireless.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And the mechanism there is brilliant. Instead of relying entirely on their own, slower internal R&D cycles, Cisco identifies smaller, really agile, tech teams that have already solved the next big problem.
And they just bolt those teams onto their existing powerhouse IT and finance infrastructure?
Exactly. They buy to get smarter, not just bigger.
Which honestly brings us to the core takeaway for you today. Whether you are evaluating the strategy of the company you work for or deciding where to invest your own money in the market, look for the mechanics of synergy.
Definitely. You need to ask yourself, are they leveraging shared resources? Are they deliberately blending cultures?
Right, because if a move looks like it's driven by, like, executive hubris or imitation or just pure FOMO, you should probably run the other way.
Oh, absolutely. Run fast.
Which leaves you with one final puzzle to chew on. As industries evolve faster than ever, how can large, highly successful firms avoid the growth trap?
Yeah, that's the big question.
Like, how do they know exactly when it's time to stop expanding before they accidentally destroy the very value they just spent years building?
It's a tough balance.
It really is. Definitely something to think about. Until next time.